Browns have made it into the NFL playoffs for the first time in 18 long years.
Going deep, and he's got Braylon Edwards. Oh, he dropped the ball. An NFL high 12th dropped pass.
You suck, you jackass.
Colin Sexton has the Cavs' last 17 points, looking for 20. Oh, my!
You're tuning into the We Like Sports podcast with Austin, Keith, Payton, and Riggs. Make sure to stay tuned for your latest sports news on the We Like Sports podcast.
Roasted my nose. I don't want to play no more.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
Welcome to the We Like Sports podcast with Keith, special guest. What's your name? First guy here. First time caller. Calling in today to talk about the We Like Sports podcast. My name's Payton Vince. So we got a lot to talk about today. Usually me and Matt Titt do the show together. Oh, damn. You know what's funny is I'm looking at the picture of me and it looks like I'm like twice the size of you. I'm not a giant in real life. What do you mean a picture of you? And I looked on Facebook and I just looked like 10 times bigger. Like Tyler, I think ended up like, I would say See? You're showing me off to me, and I already know how big I am.
I think you look that big.
My sleeves are like
Your
barely
forehead
enough.
is huge, but I don't think it's anything.
Because of a receding hairline, you've got to go there?
Yes.
All right. I'll make fun of you in like 10 years when you're 40 and I have a receding hairline at 30.
Will I even know you in 10 years? Don't you think I would have kind of gone a little bit higher in my career than to talk with you guys?
I don't know if you mean that or not.
Wait, Tyler, I wish we could put the camera over that way so we could show everybody. No?
Tyler?
Come on.
He does a great job behind the scenes. But anyways, for the tip-off today.
That's what you want to call it?
What, behind the scenes or tip-off?
Great job.
Oh. But for the tip-off, I saw this on Twitter, and I think we might end up finding the Google Voice line eventually and have that launched and have the fans end up calling in and giving their thoughts. But for the tip-off, in the description too, no BS, Keith wanted to talk about baseball, and we kind of have to talk about baseball now. Spring training, pitchers and catchers
What do you
reporting.
mean we kind of have to? That sounds like you don't want to talk about baseball.
Well, I do, but like, there's only so much baseball until they start playing. But anyways,
There's only so much baseball. We did a whole year of content with no sports.
and now I'm forgetting what to do.
Talk about sports!
Really, is that what I'm supposed to do here?
No.
All right. Honestly, I was gonna talk about like somebody's like Playboy collection. Like I thought that's how we talk about the show, and
It's kind of hot.
you know. But anyways, for the tip-off, who's one former Cleveland Indian you would want to bring back?
Ryan.
Ryan?
Hold on a minute. Let's have some fun with this.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on.
This is terrible.
Let's see what happens.
What's up, mate?
Hey, you're live on the We Like Sports podcast. How are you?
How are you guys?
We're doing
good.
all
We're
right.
good. We're good. I just got a text message. I'm like, he knows I'm on air, so we might as well just throw MC Nowak on.
Fuck it, why not?
What are you doing?
Should make myself some dinner.
Because Austin is gone.
Yeah, he's working like
He's-
13 jobs an hour.
He's not working 13 jobs, but he's working. And Stephen R. Smith is currently
In Arizona, the way he's saying it?
Arizona, I
Yeah,
think is what he said.
Arizona.
Arizona. So we might have to have you zoom in later. What do you think?
That's fine, we can do that.
Cool. We might have MC Nowak on later.
All right. What time works best for you after dinner?
I'm almost done eating, so I don't know, give me like 45 minutes so I get set up.
45 minutes.
All right.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
All right, Mike.
MC Nowak.
Amazing how that works off the cuff. Like it just works out that way. But anyways, I don't think that was the answer to your question for the tip-off too, by the way.
What was my answer?
Well, you said Ryan. There wasn't like, what other Ryans are there that are Cleveland Indians? Do you want Ryan Garco back? Is that what you were going with, or were you just discussing?
No, I think Ryan would be able to run faster than Ryan Garco.
Oh my God.
Might just be me though. I don't know. I haven't talked to Ryan Garco in a while.
But anyways, for the tip-off, the question was, who's one former Cleveland Indians player you would want to bring back?
That's tough. Probably Albert Bell. Oh no, I don't know. Omar Vizquel. Are you talking about in their prime?
No matter like whoever, like if they played for the Indians,
many-
whoever, you
so
could go with
many. Bob
Nick
Feller,
Swisher
you
if you
could-
want. You could go with Jason Giambi. You
Nick
could,
Swisher.
yeah.
I wouldn't bring that prick back if he paid to play. If
What?
he paid the Dolans to play, I wouldn't bring Nick Swisher back here.
I thought you guys were bros though. This was Bro-Ohio.
It's not Bro-Ohio. He's a douchebag. Thanksgiving suck at my house.
Why do they suck at your house?
Because he's a jackass.
So, anyways, you have so many options.
You do have options. 'Cause you can take it all the way from the 90s, which was one of the best teams. You got, Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez is a
Yeah.
you know.
Manny Ramirez
when he
is
was in his
another one.
prime, Lofton. You got Vizquel, Bierga.
Would you want to bring back Kenny
Allmark.
Lofton though, just because? Like, let's think about it. What, like, he's a great hitter, great on the bases, but when he's throwing the ball, I mean, everything that I know growing up, and Kenny Lofton, if you're watching this, there's no hard feelings whatsoever.
He's not.
But you never know.
I do.
You never know.
He's
Shut your mouth. I'm talking to Kenny Lofton right now.
Go ahead.
But anyways, anytime that I end up playing softball at all, I end up feeling my arm just gets dead. And I start throwing rainbows, and I always say that I throw like Kenny Lofton after a while because I'm just getting it in barely into the field. With Kenny Lofton being around, though, would you end up having that same outfield arm strength, if you want to call it that. Like, I love Kenny Lofton. I'd love to have him back. He was great when he was 45 playing with the Indians in, like, 2007.
Right.
Even you could go with another one that's still relevant in baseball all the time is Julio Franco.
Julio Franco's not a bad. Yeah, I mean, but we're talking about like, are we bringing it back for power? Are we bringing it back for base running? Are we bringing it back pitching? Because I mean, there's a lot. Then you're talking about.
I mean, you could break down all categories.
Sabathia. All right, so one pitcher you'd bring back, one old Indians pitcher. You can't say Jose Mesa because he screwed us.
Doesn't he have something that burns too? I heard.
I don't know. He beat his wife, so I have no idea. I guess that burns when he's in jail. Never mind.
So one pitcher though that I didn't bring him back. Honestly, that's probably I could give like a top 3, and that's even hard to do. But like I'm thinking CC Sabathia, Cliff Lee, Corey Kluber, and if I had to pick one, I'm picking like Cy Young Cliff Lee that was like 22-4 back in like 2008. That's what I'm thinking about if I'm thinking for a pitcher for the Indians. If you're looking batter, I mean, like Carlos Santana would still be relevant just because he was always consistent. Honestly, it might be a little too soon still, but like I'd say Francisco Lindor because that was somebody that like you should have had for a lifetime pretty much. That was.
You can't say. I guess you technically said any former Indians.
Yeah. So I mean,
if
he's
that's
gone.
the case, there's a bunch. Let's talk about Lindor being gone for a second before we jump. Are we could talk about that later?
No, we could talk about that now.
Like Lindor being gone, he went to the Mets for a bag of socks, baseballs, and LeBron James pubes is what we got from it. So, I mean, that's probably not good.
I mean, with Francisco Lindor, obviously you have to end up figuring it out, like the rebuild stage, and I think like that's kind of like the in between. Like if they ended up like, and I said this I think last week, like with you have Ahmed Rosario, you have Iglesias, I think, or no, it's Jimenez from the Mets, and then you also had Eddie Rosario too. They're showing that they're not giving up, because if they would have given up, you would be looking at all these youthful prospects. You'd be looking at an outfield of Daniel Johnson, you'd be looking at Oscar Mercado, and you'd be looking at Nolan Jones in left field. You're not going to be looking at a team that's trying to at least make an attempt to contend.
Okay, but let's take a bit. So everybody said everybody wanted Lindor, right?
Yeah.
But what did I say before all of this happened? Who did I say should have been the face of the team and we should have built it around?
You said Jose Ramirez, I think, right?
So look at the WAR stat for Lindor is 1.1. At bats 236. Lindor has 61 hits, 8 home runs, batting average of 258. That's 2020. So we know it was a messed up bullcrap season, right?
Right. 60 games.
Jose Ramirez, WAR is 2.4. At bats 219, hits 64, home runs 17, batting average 292.
But that's the problem I have though. Like WAR wins above replacement,
but
not
substantially less. I don't like take WAR out. I think WAR is a bullshit.
But
stat.
like even like for your wins above replacement, that's essentially what that statistic is. What's his replacement? Is that going back from the replacement of Lonnie Chisenhall being at third, or is that Jack Hanahan, or who is technically that replacement at third base? Because Jose's been there for a while. Is it Juan Uribe? Like, who's the one that's technically the replacement? Like, Francisco Lindor, it was obvious. Shortstop, it was Asdrubal Cabrera because he was next in line. Santana, whoever he was replacing after last year. So, Edwin Encarnacion, that'd be wins above replacement, I would imagine.
Sure.
So, it's just, I feel like there's more to that statistic than there actually is. Because Jose Ramirez, obviously, that's a better WAR, but that's also a position that if it's Lonnie Chisenhall, he ended up moving to right field for a reason.
Right. No, I understand that too. But if you're going to compare, like, is Jose Ramirez a better player than Francisco Lindor? At the plate, he's more clutch.
Yeah, and that's...
I mean, he's been more clutch for a long time.
He's more consistent, too. That's the key with Jose Ramirez, is that you're having a hitter that, when it was a normal year, he was 40 for 40 almost, but he had a 30 for 30 season, having 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. And he's a short dude, too. He's like 5'7". He's not a big, gigantic dude. That just goes into the factor, again, of something I've wanted to hit on for weeks. And I think today we finally have the opportunity, because Baseball Hall of Fame, nobody got elected to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm at the point right now that I think that baseball needs to have a steroid wing. Like, you could have whatever, but, like, the guys like Barry Bonds, he was part of history. Steroids or not. Alex Rodriguez, give them their own separate section. Not too much prize, not too much purity, I guess you could say.
What about Pete Rose?
Pete Rose, I feel like is
put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
I feel like it's just a lost cause with him at this point.
But that's not. Dude, he got banned from baseball for life, for betting, and he didn't even bet against himself. He bet for himself. But then you have people like Barry Bonds. I think that's where the problems come. That's why these people aren't there. Do you know what I mean? That's why they're not in the Hall of Fame, because it's real hard to say Pete Rose shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but we should give Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire. There's a lot of them that use PDs. The PD era was bad.
Yeah, that was the 90s to 2000. That was before, like, I'm trying to think, like, what was the ideal timetable when it stopped. Like, I think it was more so like that 2010s decade that it finally started.
That's when they cracked down on it.
Yeah, that's when it became serious.
You couldn't use X amount of creatine. You couldn't use. They stopped all performance enhancement. It wasn't just steroids.
Right.
It was creatine. It was certain types of pre-workouts,
testosterone boosters and whatnot that are legal, illegal.
Like. Right, which is garbage if you think about it. You know, in the end, it doesn't make any sense.
And that's the thing too. Like with Barry Bonds, this is going back. Like it's all going to loop around and make sense with Jose Ramirez, but Barry Bonds. You always think, like, okay, if he didn't take steroids, or even Alex Rodriguez, if he didn't take steroids, and I want to say Troy and I even talked about this on 1450 WLEC in Sandusky.
Sure.
Always got to plug that in.
Yeah, of course.
But anyways, like, when we were talking about it, we were talking about Barry Bonds. He was a home run hitter because of the bat speed. He had quick bat speed. That's something Jose Ramirez has, too. He's a short guy. He's not big in stature, but he has bat speed. That's the key. Alex Rodriguez, before he started his career with the Mariners, right? And then he went to Texas to get that income boost, we'll call it. But if you look at the numbers from before he had steroids, he was still performing fairly well. Like, he had a good performance number. So that's why, all right, obviously steroids are bad. You don't want that to happen. Right. But that's why, like, you have these players that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame at some point, though. Because if they have a steroid wing, I think it makes sense, because that's a part of baseball that you're going to be forgetting. Rafael Palmeiro wasn't really known as a home run hitter, but he's in that same boat. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, all those guys, you're looking at guys that are hitting 600 home runs, and now you're looking at Albert Pujols, who has a little bit under like 600 home runs right now in his career, and he's probably going to be the closest they get to ever having Hank Aaron or Barry Bonds' record, whoever you feel like is legitimate.
Right.
That's the thing, though, is like so much with baseball, you have just so much flaws. Like, you have, like, the ball that, like, it carried so much this year, and then Rob Manfred's response is, okay, we're going to deaden the ball. Is it going to make a difference? Who knows? But why are you deadening the ball if you're trying to make baseball more entertaining? You're saying that, okay, I'm not watching baseball because it's not enough action. It's not basketball when they score 140 points a night. It's not football when it's 49-48 in the fourth quarter and the shootout, or else it's 21-3. People are happy with that. But baseball, if it's 0-0, they're unhappy. If it's a pitching duel, they're unhappy. You want to have people tune in. You want this ideal amount of time for baseball as well. And then from there, you're deadening the ball and you're taking away offense, something that would provide those runs that you're scoring. So that's just so many flaws that, like, the new age, air quotes there, the new age of baseball is happening.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like,
and that's the problem, the new age of baseball. And what did you say? Like, they're deadening the balls.
Yeah, and that was Rob Manfred's call too. Like, he's the one that's deciding that. And it's like, okay,
Manfred's
dude,
he's
terrible. He's not good for baseball.
No, he never has been either, like, at all.
Like, as we're looking this up, because I'm curious now, like, the current home run leaders. So, like, with the career statistics, though, or there you go, active leaders. So right now you have Albert Pujols, that is at 662, so I was off. He has the possibility, but he's not going to because he hasn't performed nearly to his highest in years. He's at 662 home runs. Behind him, it's Miguel Cabrera with 487. Right. That's a huge gap in between. Like, and that's 20 years, and Albert Pujols is 40 years old. This is his last year, more than likely, and he's not having a 40 home run season. He's not going to be looking at 400 or 702, and you do the math.
Right.
Like, you have Edwin Encarnacion, who's behind Miguel Cabrera, and he's at 424. Everybody else is way early on. Like, there's no like, there's no reason to keep track of home runs anymore, it feels like, because you're not going to be able to match that record after Albert Pujols. Miguel Cabrera is going to pay another 2-3 years, if that, and he hasn't been consistent since the Tigers were good.
Texan MC Nowak. The Tigers were never good. The Tigers were awful. The Tigers have always been bad, dude.
They hit Ivan Rodriguez. They had a good team. They had good pitching.
Yeah, but they couldn't get to where they needed to get to.
Well, they won one World Series, which is more than the Indians have.
Yeah, but how many championships? This is where Cleveland always gets screwed. We're super good until we name it something. Just don't name it anymore. It's a championship. That's all it is. Stop naming it World Series. Stop naming it Super Bowl. Stop naming it all that stuff.
All right. So if we're looking, because I'm curious now to see how many quote-unquote championships they have in Cleveland. So if you're looking at World Series titles, they've won them 1920 and 1948. 1948 was 70 years ago almost.
Oh, yeah.
If not, no, it's not 70. It's like 63 with math or something. And then 1920 was longer than that. 90 years ago.
We won
100 years ago almost.
So we won 2 World Series championships. But Central Division titles, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2001, 2007, 2016, 2017, 2018.
And you had that stretch.
Pennants, 1920, 1948, 1955, 1995, 1997, 2016.
And 2016 was probably their best opportunity. And that was something like...
Yeah, 2016 definitely was probably our best.
And you had this window opportunity that you had with the Indians with 2016, 2017, 2018, as you mentioned. So you end up having that, and you are talking about... Everybody heard of this window, that the Indians have this window. The division's going to be pretty much beyond lackluster.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to be able to swim through that and coast your way to the finish line pretty much. So you have that going on, and now afterwards that you have Lindor gone, you have Michael Brantley gone, you have Mike Clevenger, Corey Kluber, this, that, the other.
Right.
Your window's gone. You have to have a new window now, and like that's like the thankful thing.
But is our window totally gone?
It isn't to a point. If they wouldn't have signed guys like Eddie Rosario, like I mentioned earlier, like if they didn't sign guys like him, or if they didn't sign guys like if they didn't trade for prospects and they gave Francisco Lindor away for essentially free and let him walk, then they're giving up. Right. That's when you're gonna have this rebuild phase.
Like pubic, we got him for pubic hair. No, who doesn't want to trade a player for LeBron James' dirty communist pubes?
Why? Like, you always have to take it to pubic hair.
Because it's LeBron James. He's not worth the pubic hair that's on his
pubic
hair. Area.
But anyways, so as we ended up mentioning earlier, we got completely off track.
Did we?
Yeah, because I was talking about who's a former Indian you would want to bring back. And we kind of branched off and took 13 different approaches like I have everyday conversation with
Brad
humans.
Hand. I would want to bring Brad Hand back.
Why?
Because I like being upset. I feel like the more I'm upset, the happier my life is. Doesn't make sense, right? But
No.
I'm an Indians fan, I'm a Browns fan, and I'm a Cavaliers fan. So if I'm not getting my ball stepped on with golf cleats, something's not right.
So that didn't happen quite that much with the Browns. So, like, are you just kind of hoping that, like, the Cavs are either tanking and your balls get stepped on, or are you hoping that the Indians are the worst?
I want to win. I don't care about any other sports. I don't think you understand. Like, do I think it would be awesome to see a Browns Super Bowl? 100%. I watched the Cavs championship. All I care about is 7 games. I care about 7 games, World Series, and I don't even want 7. I want it to be a sweep. I want it in 5.
You know what? Hey, I could punch myself in my own face for this.
Please
too.
do that.
I'm not going to do that, but I want to at times. I was so stubborn in 2016 when it came to the Cleveland Indians being in the World Series that I'm like, you know what? I'm like, it was back when they were up like 3-0. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I want them to come back home because I want to be here. I want to be downtown when they win it.
Yeah, not me.
Next thing you know, it's Game 7, and I'm crying as I'm going over the Detroit Bridge, or thinking about crying.
Bridge, huh?
And, yeah, to get my car back. Because I parked it.
Oh, right on.
But you, like, that was just like, okay, I got, like, super complacent because it's like, all right, Cavs were away when they had their celebration. Right. I want to witness the Indians at home win Game 6, Game 7. Game 6 didn't happen. Game 7 went into a rain delay. Next thing you know, not World Series champions, and you're looking at the Cubs breaking a curse from 100-plus years. Stubborn, I guess, at the end of the day, and that's what sucks. But I guess going off that topic, though, and saying who I'd want to bring back, I mean, we already addressed your pitcher. I said Cliff Lee. I said the hitter, I'd probably say Francisco Lindor. And then defensively, I'd probably say I want to bring back Michael Brantley defensively because he's somebody that's always, like, if the Indians ended up signing him back in free agency this year, instead of him re-signing with the Blue Jays, and yes, I know there's confusion with that, but he's not with the Blue Jays. He's with the Astros, and I feel like I said the Astros. I'm going to confuse myself just now.
You are.
But he re-signed with the Astros, but there's rumors he signed with the Blue Jays. But if the Indians were able to keep him back or have him return back, I'd love to have Michael Brantley with pretty much the lineup that you have now. So that'd be my lineup essentially with.
So Michael Brantley is probably a good person to have back, just because he was clutch no
and
matter
he was
what.
Veteran leadership too. That's something that's missing now.
Yeah, now they're. Well, what about Jose Ramirez? Is it because he can't talk English?
That's honestly what I was gonna say. That might come down to that.
I mean that's an honest thing. So now who do you have? You got Shane Bieber in the rotation, but you don't ever have pitchers.
Shane Bieber's still young though. That's the downfall.
But you don't have pitchers leading teams. You just
right.
don't. I mean,
because if you would have hit a pitcher leading a team, you would have had Cord Kluber as your voice of reason, pretty much.
Over everything. That man didn't talk. I mean, he broke his arm in 16 different places and picked up his bone shard and still threw to first.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Still.
Yeah, I remember that. He got it. It was crazy. He threw the glove. He couldn't do much. Then he walked to the doctor and it was bad.
But
he drove to Cleveland Clinic that day.
Did he really?
No.
Okay. But I guess that's the way I would end up lining up. But what are you thinking? Who would you bring back as pitcher? Who do you bring back as your hitter? And who would you bring back as your fielder then too? Because you gave me the options. I answered. Now it's your turn.
So as a hitter, I'd probably bring back Albert Bell.
Okay.
In all honesty, as a fielder, I'd have to bring back Omar Vizquel.
Yeah, because he catches the ball with his teeth.
He does. Dude, he would catch it with his hair. Did you ever see what he did? He used to catch it in his hat, flip it back, then throw it to he did all kinds of stuff. It was weird.
Honestly, I wish I was around more in that time frame.
Instead,
I was still a sperm kind of. Not really, but
I don't know what that means.
I don't know
You're not
either.
Really a sperm, or how were you born? Were you test tube? Was it a turkey baster? I don't understand what you're saying. I'm just confused on
how
lost. You don't know if you're okay. Well, anyways, so hitter would be Albert Bell, then fielder would be Omar Vizquel. And what am I looking for? Pitcher?
Yeah.
Oh man, probably Charlie Sheen.
Oh my God.
I'd bring back Charlie Sheen.
Remember? Honestly, that's not crazy though, because I would love to see in 2016 going back there to the Indians and the World Series and all that great year. I was hoping that Charlie Sheen would have thrown out the first pitch in 2016 for the Game 7 because there was rumors of it. He was up in the press box. They ended up coming back. He ended up predicting that the game would go into extra innings, and he was close to the score. I remember this all too vividly. I don't know why.
Why do you remember that?
I wish I knew. You want to talk about baseball. You wanted to talk about baseball for how many weeks? This is why I don't talk about baseball, Keith, because I have a problem. My passion is so deep that I could tell you how many home runs Edwin Encarnacion hit in 2018.
How many home runs?
Which I think is 38.
What you think or you know?
Look it up.
Your passion is so deep. I'm not looking it up.
All right.
You said your passion is so deep.
But if not,
your passion.
All right, over or under? How many am I allowed to be over and under?
3.
Okay.
I'll give you 3. So you sure that's what it is?
I said 38 in 2018.
Because I'm pretty sure it's 34.
And I'm looking this up right now.
I'm pretty sure it's 34.
All right, we'll look up 2018. The amount of home runs. Drum roll, please.
No, I'm not doing a drum roll, but
it's 32.
So I was closer.
But
actually, I was closer.
In 2017, 38.
That's cute, but you still had it wrong.
Okay, I was
your passion is so good that you're only a season off.
But still, that's, I'm like the Rain Man of baseball. And on that note,
I don't want to get canceled, or I would say something. But okay, go ahead. Should we maybe take a break before I blurt something out?
That's why I said on that note, we'll be back on the Real Sports Podcast. Don't go anywhere. Riggs,
What are you going to do when you get home from work today? Well, I'm going to manscape. Use the promo code SPORTZ, SPORTZ. Ball shaver, ball deodorant, ball toner.
I don't know what's happening.
All this stuff. Manscaped, Sports with the Z. We'll be right back.
You're still Payton. Welcome back to Life in the Fast Lane with Keith. Matt Tips can't be here today, so we have special guest Payton Villains. Payton Rants.
Dude. It says on the screen, We Like Sports Podcast. My Twitter handle is literally my real name.
That me and him like sports. I thought maybe you spelled it wrong.
What?
You did spell it wrong.
You just said Life in the
Z.
Fast Lane.
Right, but I just figured it's because the segment was We Like Sports, so we're going to talk about sports.
Oh, my goodness.
You generally got mad at that.
You know what else I got mad about, too? Is because I'm talking about the title to the show, too. And Tyler, our producer, pointed it out, too. Because I said, the title's kind of funny. Because it's spring. Training is right around the corner. And again, I said, you'd understand it if you weren't on your phone.
I am.
On your phone.
Yeah, right, but I still understand your dad jokes are horrible. What do you want me to do? I can't laugh at them. I'm sorry.
You ever see The Big Bang Theory before?
Yes.
You know Sheldon?
I'm American.
You know Sheldon? You know how he laughs? Just give me one of those. All right, sports with the Z.
Sports with a Z.
All right, what are we talking about? We're talking about the NBA. That was over dramatic.
NBA spelled MLB. Tyler, how do you not know how to spell MLB?
How do you not know how to spell abs? That's right.
Abs.
I thought that's where you were going with it because your tongue got tied, like the song.
What?
You know.
Did I make...
Anyways, NBA. All right, so we're gonna talk more besides baseball. Larry Nance Jr., the Cleveland Cavaliers forward, said that he wants to retire in Cleveland. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, Larry Nance Jr. came with the trade with the Lakers on LeBron James' last year. His dad played in Cleveland before. He's young still. I really like the idea of him wanting to retire in Cleveland. He's just, that's how you, I mean, honestly, I think that's how you become the next LeBron. Is just do the same thing he did, but stay committed to that city.
No. What were we talking about? No, I'm just kidding. So, what do you, like, nobody stays loyal to a city. Name one.
Tim Tebow, this year's staying, retires from
I
baseball.
saw it. Weird MLB. Weird things are going on, yet we're talking about crappy ass NBA.
It's a very sad day in the baseball community. Tim Tebow retires from baseball.
I forgot Tim Tebow even played baseball, to be honest with you.
I forgot Tim Tebow played football.
What did he... Payton. Tim Tebow was a God-fearing man. He was good.
Yeah, he was. He beat the Steelers in 2015 or 2016 in the playoffs. You don't have to remind me. Again,
I did.
Dumb statistics.
You reminded yourself.
Dumb statistics.
But you reminded yourself.
All right. So, anyways, you were talking about the NBA. Or you were talking to your phone, and I was talking about the
I was
NBA.
telling Tyler to send MC Nowak the friggin' Zoom. But Tyler doesn't have his phone. Do you look at it? Do you check it?
I share the show.
That's one of the few times that, guys, that was Tyler the producer. Honestly, he kind of sounds like a rapper.
Tyler the producer sounds like a rapper?
Yeah.
You just made Dr. Dre literally have another brain aneurysm.
Oh, my God.
No, that's not... I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Dude's got brain bleed now.
Oh, my God.
So does 90% of the NFL players. LeBron James got brain bleed.
Oh, man. So, Larry Nance Jr. wanted to retire in Cleveland, and that's the statement I said. And then you said no, and then you said, what are we talking about? And now we're going back to the original question.
Do we keep him or do we trade him?
Would you mind if he stayed in his whole entire career in Cleveland?
Yes, I want him. I love the guy. I think he's great. What's his batting average? What's his on-base percentage? What's his WAR? I want to talk baseball!
All right, I'll look up his WAR and the batting average.
What if he has one? What if you pull up some from some high school or whatever? We're in space.
My God. So he Larry Nance Jr. July 20th, 2020. Fun fact. tweeted about a baseball glove he wanted, and he said he doesn't even play baseball, but he wants one of these ice cream cone gloves.
I also want one of those ice cream cone gloves.
Ice cream glove clones. But anyways, I mean, Keith, you don't shut up about baseball.
You're at it done.
What do you want to talk about baseball?
It's coming back. There's trades. We got new things going on. McKenzie's coming up. Is Bieber going to be the same? Dude, you're a sports analyst. Loose word. Very loose word. And you can't come up with topics to talk about with baseball.
I can. I'm just trying to hit on more. And, like, you do this thing, right? It's called hijacking. And there's, like, basketball, football, and baseball. Mm-hmm. And, like, when it comes to football, you're like, oh, yeah, the Browns. Yeah, Payton Hillis is my Browns player, my running back.
He's okay.
And then you're like, oh, basketball. Hate that. Politics. Son of a bitch. And then you're like, baseball. And then you leave me no other choice. And I'm like, I got so many other topics besides baseball. But on that note, though.
No. Let's talk about how you do a show, shall we? I think we should talk about like get in the ring and do things but like dad joke funny dad joke.
So the Red Sox, are they get in the ring?
I like it.
So baseball wise, Keith Miger -Hillis -Tift.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, now you're throwing Tift under the bus.
The Red Sox, are they rebuilding?
Yes, they have to.
What are your thoughts on the fact that they traded away Andrew Benintendi and they also traded him to the Royals too? This is baseball,
like right? That seems like a very dumb. That's a dumb move, right?
I mean, on which end though?
On the Red Sox part. Why would you trade him? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I mean,
why? Like what? So, granted, Boston does not have a very good track record of good people being in. Do you know what I mean? Like, think about what they sold Babe Ruth for.
Oh, yeah,
Like literally tickets to a crappy play. It's the same thing we did with Lindor. We traded him for, again, gym socks, balls, and pubic hair. What would be the purpose of that trade? What would be the reason of that trade? Let's bring MC Nowak in and see what he has to say about the trade.
Okay, fair enough. He's
coming.
So, anyways.
Oh, here we go.
As
He's saving the segment, right?
Yeah.
Because you're so good at it.
I always do. On the fly. The Red Sox have Alex Verdugo, who they got in a trade with
Red Sox are a bunch of bums.
Red Sox are a bunch of bums.
Okay. It's like he heard us. That's awesome. Hell yeah, Ryan.
His legs don't work, not his ears.
Yeah, that's work fine. Read the sign, man. Read the sign.
Yeah, see?
What sign? I can't see it.
You can't see the sign?
I need glasses, apparently.
Barely.
At this point, his legs work better than your eyes. Just saying.
Oh, man. So anyways, with the Red Sox, though, are they in that rebuilding stage? Because right now their only big contract is J.D. Martinez, and how much longer are they going to hang on to him before trading him?
They have to. They have to. They have to hold on to it for as long as they can. What do you mean? How much longer? If they get yes, they're in a rebuilding phase. They have to be in a rebuilding phase because of what happened. I mean, think about what. And again, the Red Sox have bad GMs. Like, do you understand? I'm saying, like, just bad GMs, bad coaching, bad everything. And I don't like the Red Sox. I never have liked the Red Sox. Now, if it's Red Sox versus Yankees, I'm pulling for the Sox all day.
But they got a lot of money.
They do have a lot of money. But take money aside. If you're looking at
baseball, man. It's all about money. It's baseball. It's all about money.
Right, but, well, I mean...
You could have a shit management as long as you got $1 billion to spend. We'll be fine.
Well, yeah, but think about how many times a small market team won the World Series. They didn't have money.
Well, in the last 15 years.
No, 15 years? What?
Last 15 years. And not many small market teams won.
I mean...
Yeah,
Kansas City, White Sox. Well, can't even say the White Sox. That's a big market.
White Sox?
Yeah, Chicago, man.
Back in 2008, they might have been a big market.
Well, that's what I mean. When they won in the past, but I would say they're a big market team because it's Chicago.
I think the only one that would be
close to like.
In Christ, there's 2 baseball teams in the town.
Right, for Chicago. Like, I feel like the only one that could be considered small market, but it's not even considered small market anymore, was probably the Houston Astros when they won their first ring. And that doesn't even matter anymore because they're a powerhouse team now.
Yeah, but
Right.
okay, so you said only a handful. I mean, think about it. St. Louis Cardinals, 2011, 2006. The Florida Marlins, the Diamondbacks.
I wouldn't even. But would you really consider St. Louis? St. Louis is a baseball powerhouse through the years.
Yeah, they have that big arch.
St. Louis is a small market team. Look at their spend. Look at their cap.
Eh,
Look at the big
yeah, I
arches
guess.
they're having. The big arch. What?
I was just giving the
Big
architecture.
arch, what the hell? No, it's a small market team. St. Louis Cardinal is a small market team. They are very tiny. Then you have the Florida Marlins, who are even smaller than the Cards. So
Well,
I mean,
Oh, like I said, don't get me wrong, but it's just an anomaly. Like I was talking about before when we were doing this. I told you go back to 20 years. If you weren't spending at least in the top 12, you weren't winning the series.
do you think about this? The 1997 Florida Marlins came out of nowhere basically to beat another small market. They handled us, which is bad, at 4-3. So I mean, you got to look like. If you and you're right, you can't like big market teams. Baseball is about spending money. If you have big market teams, you can get the players. But if you look at
You can always get lucky.
What's that?
You can always get lucky, especially like again the Indians. We got a farm team, and if they just spend it just a little bit more. Now I'm not talking go through the roof, but I mean instead of spending $38 million on your entire team, let's bump it up to maybe 70, 80. Maybe get a little bit more quality.
I mean, you would have to, but that's what I'm saying. Like, would you consider Boston a small market team?
I mean, Boston was never a small market. They were always the ones that were the enemies. Like, them and the Yankees I consider hand in hand. David Ortiz, New York Yankees, I hated watching them because I hated both teams.
Because you know they're going to, and that's one of the biggest rivals in baseball.
Right.
It'll even make you sick just looking at it, too, when you got Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner bought the Yankees for peanuts.
Yep,
made it into like a $3.7 billion team.
And Steinbrenner,
it's an empire. At the end of the day, they're not even a team; they're an empire.
The
They
Yankees?
built,
Yeah,
they
100%.
built their way.
Oh, I saw
up.
that TV money.
Yeah, and they're like, they end up having one down year. They end up having Aaron Boone come in, and I think in his first year was the only bad year that you could call the Yankees having within the last 20 years. And then I guess going back to like the small market teams. The only one that you could consider, and this shouldn't be the Indians' approach, but I could see them doing this for this very reason, is look at the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays ended up having $30 million on their payroll, and they ended up making it to the World Series, and it's a 60-game season, but that's one of those rare occasions, though, that you end up having a small market team.
I guess the one point that I would make on top of that is like if you've got a small payroll and you've got the talent but small payroll, you got to hope you don't have any injuries.
Yeah.
Pray that you do not get hurt. Because that's the thing. The Yankees, you can look at them. You know, Stanton goes down for like half the year. Another guy goes down for another quarter of the year. Another guy goes on. And they just push him to the side and put the next guy that they, farmed from the Indians and put him in front of them till he gets better. And then he comes back in and, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they only squeaked in the playoffs. Like the Yankees are another rare anomaly. Like you're right, they're a dynasty.
But it's perennial. It happens all the time. That's the problem.
Right, but even when Stanton was gone and Judge was gone, look at their win percentage. It went down drastically.
But like they end up like Ryan mentioned though with the Yankees too. You look at the Yankees and you have guys that shouldn't have been something but became something. Like former Cleveland Indian Giovanni Urshela. He literally found a second wind in his career with the Yankees because of injuries with guys like Miguel Andujar going down. And having
then look at it like this, and that he'd have been if we would have kept him. There we go.
Yeah,
we're not talking about a third baseman and a shortstop and shit like that. We got him at third. You move Ramirez over, boom, you got an infield, a hell of an infield at that.
Yeah, you could have had an infield at one point of Giovanni Urshela. You could have had Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez at second. You could have parted ways with Jason Kipnis years ago, but that's not the way things worked out, though, unfortunately. But obviously, you had to go through those growing pains, and you also have guys that like you trade away Yandy Diaz, who everybody
I feel like the Dolans are a consistent growing pain in my ass.
That's very true, though.
And I can't feel my ass, just for full disclosure.
Oh, he's done. He's done for the day.
Could you? I got water.
You got a water? Water what? I don't know what the hell that means. Anyways.
He said, "Oh man, that's very valid then."
Oh, the Dolans suck. If it can make Ryan's leg twitch, yes, we've got issues. That's right. I mean, that's true.
But like, you have so much potential, and I think that's kind of the most irritating thing about being an Indians fan is because, like you were mentioning too, that like now you have these free agent signings.
Right.
This week you have Billy Hamilton, which would have been fantastic like 10 years ago.
Right.
But he's gonna end up making the team for whatever reason, just because he's that Rajai Davis, that Austin Jackson, that type of player. And then you have guys like Ben Gamel I don't mind seeing. I think he has a better shot, and he's an outfielder. But you have these low-cost, high-reward signings, but it's also you have this kind of like the big fish in the small pond, like the Eddie Rosario thing. You had to pay to get him, and like that was the only notable name, but they're making small moves to at least kind of stay relevant. But again, though, if that's all your outfielders, and you have guys like Daniel Johnson still in AAA, if there is a AAA this year,
there will be.
But that's what you're looking at, is you have him more time in the minor leagues. It's like, you deserve more than this. You don't deserve to play behind a Ben Gamel or a Billy Hamilton. Because what if Billy Hamilton is playing center field and takes over for Oscar Mercado?
Which is probably going to happen.
Well, yeah, but the only problem with that too is Billy Hamilton is, again, now we got somebody that can play defense. He's a burner. He might have lost a step in, a little bit, but still, he's faster than most. But he still ain't got a bat.
Yeah, like literally last year, like I want to say within the 2 stints that he had last year, there was one point he was batting like .067, and then the other time he was batting 300. And it was
so we're going to go 1-2, him and Luplo at the top of the order?
Oh my gosh.
Better pray to God it's a lefty.
Ugh.
You better pray to God that I'm not watching this team.
Why?
I am too. That's the sad part.
Yep.
Like, I can't.
But the other thing is, you gotta look at like what. So we're a small market team. We have to constantly compete against all these big guys. We have to constantly compete against the money. We let Lindor walk for a ball sack. Then we to sweeten the deal, we throw a cookie in there. But who did we pick up?
Beside, like in that trade, or
no? But who did we sign recently? It's a pitcher.
Brian Shaw.
Shaw. We brought back Shaw.
Yeah, because they need the bullpen help apparently.
No.
Yeah, shout out to Cody Allen, retired today, 32, leading saves for the Indians.
And like that'd be another perfect person to bring back. Like you don't even need him in a closer role. Cody Allen was never bad. He was good with the Cleveland Indians organization.
Cody Allen was never bad. What the hell? How old are you? When did you start watching baseball? Last year?
He was better than Hand.
What?
I think he was better than Hand.
The setup of Andrew Miller and Cody Allen was probably the best 1-2 duo.
That's fine. They were a good setup.
Oh, yeah. No.
Still never got it done. And I don't know if he was better than Hand or not, but he was.
Brad Hand, if you count the first half of 2019... He was the best closer the Indians ever had.
Yeah.
If you count afterwards, he was the worst closer the Indians ever had.
That's what I mean. I don't know. But dude, Cody Allen, I don't. Not now. Why would you bring him back?
No. I wouldn't say bring him back now. I was saying if I'd bring him back before Shaw.
Yeah.
Bring who back? Hand?
No, Cody
Allen.
Oh, Allen.
And I'd still bring him back because you end up having just one inning from Cody Allen. That's your 7, 8, 9. You have Cody Allen, Emmanuel Clase, James Karinchak.
I don't know if I want either of them. I don't know if I'd want Shaw, Hand, Allen, any of them. Let's just trade. We have a bullpen. We don't need to focus on that. We need to get bats and outfield. That's what we need. We don't need a field. We don't need a field. Just bats. Bring back Encarnacion.
And you can do that now because he's a free agent.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Do you see Edward Encarnacion coming back? We got rid of Santana.
So you have 2 options now. You either have somebody like Josh Naylor go to first. You have Bobby Bradley finally get an opportunity.
Bobby Bradley needs to have an opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. He deserved it a long time ago, and he played
Reyes can play first, too.
Exactly. And then you also have Edwin Encarnacion. That would be your DH. He's not playing first.
No, he's not playing first. There's no way is he playing first. But let him
The only solution,
Let's see the parrot.
Is Franmil Reyes is the DH. He's not playing outfield. He's a big boy.
No.
He's not playing outfield. Teach him how to play first, and that's how that makes sense.
Yeah, that still would be a tough. I mean, what are you gonna do with Naylor?
Naylor, you could end up. Eddie
can't-
Rosario's
he's
an
not-
outfielder, so you could
Right,
put him at
Eddie
right
Ro-
or left. Josh Naylor, you leave out in left field then, and then you
he's
don't care
solid.
about
You
right
leave him out in the outfield, he'll be fine. And he's young
Naylor, but
enough
then
to
what
where
do you
he's
do
going to
with-
develop.
But okay, then what do you do with all of our outfielders? You can't keep throwing people out in the outfield.
Dead last
We're
year.
not the ones
We
that are
did it
picking them
last
up.
year. Look what happened.
They are. How many outfielders do we need? Ones that we're not really into, but we're going to keep getting them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. Like, you can't just keep stacking our outfield. We've got 15 right fielders, 44 center fielders, and 62 right fielders. What the hell?
And one Domingo Santana.
I thought you were going to say one Dominican Republican.
But, like, at this point with the Indians outfield last year, I would rather have Willie Mays Hayes. That would have
Put it
been,
all
he
out.
gets on base. He
I'd
hits
sign him.
for average. That's it.
Yes.
I'd rather have a movie character.
Willie Mays Hayes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. But that's the problem. That's what the Indians do. So you got, but the thing is Tito can't, he's trying to play chess, and the Dolans keep telling him, no, you need to play checkers.
Here's one piece.
It's not
Figure it out.
Yeah, basically it's not working. You just can't stack everybody out in the outfield. You need 2 first basemen, 2 second basemen, 2 third basemen, a catcher, a backup catcher, and 3 outfielders. That's what you need.
I
It's
mean,
what you need.
The Dolans are playing shitty Monopoly. That's what they're doing.
They're not even playing Monopoly.
Their Monopoly piece is
shitty
just
Monopoly.
a piece of shit.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
We could have Boardwalk, but
They're not even
maybe
playing
I'll
football
pass it
anymore.
a few times before if I decide to buy it.
Which essentially is
Oh,
what they
damn, guess
did.
what? I sold it to the Yankees.
Oh,
So that's pretty much what they did to Lindor. We'll pass him over and over again, and maybe we'll buy him and extend him out a little bit more. No,
Oh,
we're
wait,
gonna
let's
pass him
match it
over
up.
and
I'll
over.
give you a cookie also. Here you go.
Yeah,
cookie.
here's the cookie.
We
But-
lost our cookie.
I think the best case scenario with the Indians, though, is you're seeing a good sign this offseason, is you don't have Tyler Naquin anymore. The Indians, as of right now, aren't making an effort to bring back Tyler Naquin. They're parting ways with him and keeping it that way. If you end up getting rid of Carlos Santana, this time around, I don't think Carlos Santana is coming back.
He's already gone.
I know, but he's with the Royals. I don't think he already went to the Phillies beforehand, and then he came
So
back.
You don't think he's gonna make a
No,
loop
he's
and
not going to
come
loop back again. Michael Brantley, you can't you have
Can't
to
pay
go
Michael Brantley
through
enough.
that youth movement, and that's how you improve your outfield. That's why it's so irritating when you have guys like Daniel Johnson who deserves an opportunity, but instead he's sitting in the training facility in Lake County. It's so frustrating being an Indians fan.
No, you're right.
And-
It is. It is.
Let's just bring up the whole AAA and just let them play and see what happens.
Honestly, that sounds like a plot to a baseball movie that starred the
Yeah,
Indians.
it's Major League. We're just going to bring everybody up in a bunch of no-names and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like literally just like throw it on the wall and see what sticks. That's
Yeah,
all you
exactly.
have to do. And I
I
think
feel like that's all Tito's been doing his entire career as the manager of the Indians.
But like it works though. It
poor
worked the
bastard.
majority of years.
Yeah, it did.
Like
Oh, yeah, no, he's a
did.
genius. That's what I mean. I just feel like he's doing I don't know what he would do if he actually had to where he can just sit back and go, all right, I'm just going to put this together and everything's fine. And then go 25 games, 30 games and go, okay, let's just change it up a little bit.
That,
Now I was
Like,
like,
that's
no, no,
what
no.
he
Let me
he
flip
did
the
that
whole order.
in Boston. A lot.
Yeah,
in
that's what I
Boston.
mean. Like, but I'm talking about like now.
Could
He
you
had
ima-
it then.
Could you imagine if he had that in Cleveland? What would happen?
what?
If you just pick up Boston, the years he ran and just
Oh,
ran
and like
won
get
it,
like
man, just
get
put
the
it-
Boston players and put
Oh
the
yeah,
Cleveland
dude, could you
uniforms.
imagine that?
Oh, he
God.
chew less bubble gum.
We're the ones making him have to go to the freaking doctors all the time.
Yeah, like
I firmly believe that.
Oh, I'm with you on that one. It's true though.
like with Francona, he's one of the best managers, and that's the thing is that like the biggest scare. Obviously, we have to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll talk about the Baseball Prospectus, their Twitter account, given the Indians' 2021 standings, or standing predictions. But also, I want to talk about last year. How much does that concern you with Terry Francona with his health issues, and he's still around this year, and it looks like he's going to be managing the team. Is it time to kind of prepare for your next in line? Is it time to look at Sandy Alomar Jr.?
What happened when Sandy Alomar took over?
It was rough at first, but they still made it to the playoffs if it was extended or not.
Nah,
But-
but if it wasn't extended, we wouldn't have made it.
On that note, though,
But
Right.
in his defense, though, it's not that he was prepared to a point to take over just in case, but I doubt he was ready for it. You know what I mean?
He's been applying for managerial jobs all across.
No, I get he was applying for it and stuff like that, but I mean, again, he can suffice. But I'm saying, like, when he went into it, like, what am I? I'm first base coach. This is Tito's team, and then Tito goes out for an extended period of time. They're like, all right, you got the clipboard, and he's like, shit.
Right.
All right.
You're up. See what you got to do. You've never. It's like that one kid that had like that at bat in high school that never played at all because he wasn't good. Maybe I'm talking about myself. I don't know.
You definitely are.
But like he gets that one at bat, and it's like, all right, it's your time to shine.
It's the varsity blues shit.
What's that?
Lance goes down, Mox goes in.
Yep. But on that note, though, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, like I said, we'll talk more Indians. Baseball heavy. Keith doesn't like any other sport but baseball. Ryan?
Well, the NBA sucks. And
question for you.
So,
as we go into break, you're going to manscape, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Perfect. So I'm going to tell you the promo code to use is sports with a Z, SPORTZ. You're going to end up getting like ball toner, ball shaver, ball deodorant. Totally worth it. Riggs loves it. He uses it just about every day, I'm pretty sure he says.
I saw your impression of Riggs before the last break, so it was
pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, perfect.
A little bright, but yeah.
On that note, we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, we'll be talking more baseball on the We Like Sports podcast. We'll be right back.
If you're
bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
Why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTSWITHAZ at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped. And use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped.
And welcome back
to Life in the Fast Lane with Keith Meiger, Matt Tift, special guest Payton Vince, and co-hosting with us is MC No Walk.
And Matt Tift isn't here, by the way, too.
No, he can't be.
Yeah, you said and Matt Tift, and you didn't mention that he was absent.
He is.
You didn't say that.
I don't think I needed to. Do you see Matt Tift anywhere on the screen? I don't see him up there.
What's that one?
Unless he aged probably about, I don't know.
Rick Astley? I don't see him.
Rick Astley, yeah, there you go. You got Rick rolled.
I don't see him out
I'm gonna give you a bitch.
But as I mentioned, though, we were talking about the Indians' 2021 predicted standings from pretty much social media accounts, and overall, they're pretty close to accurate. You have... trying to find the specific stats.
I've been seeing second as much.
Yeah,
as
second place in like 86. Yeah, 86 and 76 in second place. 5 games behind the Minnesota Twins. You have the White Sox at 83 and 79. Before the Benintendi trade, the Royals are 71 and 91, and the Tigers are 67 and 95. The Tigers, looking at not just the Indians standings and how they'd be in second place, but also looking at the worst teams in baseball, the Orioles are 66 and 96. And then for the National League, their worst team is the Pirates. Or no, it's the Colorado Rockies at 60 and 102. This is I feel like that's very generous with the losers bracket of baseball, because I feel like they were there's usually more than 100 lost teams. Usually it's you're at 120.
Oh, yeah.
The Tigers were 40 and 120 at one point.
Oof.
The Tigers were terrible.
Tigers are awful.
Especially in the National League, though, those teams, because again, you got the Dodgers and everything in one division, and they're just the division's stacked. The top of it, there's 2 or 3 teams.
Yep.
The ones at the bottom are getting murdered.
They have the Dodgers at 103 and 59, the Padres at 96 and 66. And then third place, you're not even above 500 with 79 and 83. And in the NL East, they have the New York Mets at 96 and 66 with Francisco Lindor.
I think the White Sox are going to be scary this year.
Yeah, the White Sox are definitely concerning, just because, again, as we mentioned earlier, the Indians had this window, and the White Sox were rebuilding. The Royals were rebuilding. The Tigers were rebuilding. The Twins were even rebuilding at one point, but they were ahead of the rebuild. Though I think the White Sox are on the same path. They're kind of looking like the 2015, 2016 Astros, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But
got an old school skipper now, too.
Good old Tony La Russa.
Do you like Tony La Russa?
Depends what day it is. Is he getting arrested today or not?
I was going to say, he's a crap man. Dude, he is a piece of garbage human being.
And here's another thing, too. I didn't even realize this, but did you guys know that Alex Cora is managing the Red Sox again this year?
Yeah, they rehired him.
Yeah, after a year suspension, he's back.
And Hinckley, too. The manager of the Astros. He's back in now.
And speaking of baseball, Keith, I'm sure you got the update.
Yeah.
Do you want to share it?
No, I didn't get the update, actually.
All right, you didn't get the update. Fernando Tatis Jr. agrees to a 14-year deal with the Padres and $340 million contract.
$340 million extension. I just got it. Just came through the wire.
That is how you extend somebody that you want them to play with you for the whole entire life.
The only thing is, the Padres aren't a big market team either.
No, they're not, and that's why it doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Might not be a big market team, but their owners have money to spend. That's all it has to come down to, is if you've got the money to spend, regardless, you're gonna you can throw it out there.
I mean, yeah, but I don't see how they're able to do that.
Because the Indians again, if you go back to the Indians again, when we were that run in the '90s, getting in there, our salary jumped quite a bit. It was sitting up in the top 10 when we had all those guys.
So I'm looking at Fernando Tatis Jr.'s contract right now, and they haven't even updated it on SpotTrack yet with their contracts, the statistics and whatnot. But he's 22 years old, and he literally just got a 14-year deal for $340 million.
Which I'm sure, though, he has an option. There's got to be an option halfway, a team option in the year 6 or some shit like that, or he's got to player option and past like year 7 or 8, something like that.
I can see that.
But
Where he can be like, I made my money. Now I want to go somewhere else.
I can see that for sure.
Like, that's
If
something
you're gonna
again.
give me $300 million, I'm just gonna sit there and just collect that check.
I mean, you end up having your Bobby Bonilla day contract when you end up having however many thousands one day a year. Like, it's so frustrating to see somebody that's 22. And, like, this is just a real life point of view, too. I'm 24, 25 in April, and there's a kid younger than me that's getting paid to play a sport. To pretty much play, but to quote Keith, a child's game.
It is a child's game.
It's frustrating, though. Like,
yeah, it's frustrating, but it's entertainment. Just like, you watch movies, actors, just tons of money in it, and if you happen to be the entertainment, you get paid.
Yeah, that's...
No human is worth $340 million. I don't care what you do. Bill Gates, I don't care. You cure cancer, you make people walk, you cure diabetes, you're worth $340 million. You swing a baseball bat at a ball and you don't even do it well half the season, you're not worth $340 million. I don't care.
Like, Bryce Harper is
not worth
below 300
Absolutely,
hitters,
dude. He is not worth
$400 million.
Yeah,
and
dude.
he fails 7 times out of every 10.
Oh, yeah. Every time.
Like,
dude, he is not a good... Bryce Harper is not the best player that everybody thinks he is. He is not that great. Mike Trout deserves the money. Like, you give it to Trout. Judge is still overrated, period. Judge is an overrated player. Way overrated. Stanton, I think he's better than Judge, but I don't think he is still worth the money that they're trying to pay him. Like, none of these people are worth anything over $100 million.
I think the most thing that you look at, too, the thing that's crazy to me is that, I mean, viewership and everything else with the game, and they're trying to fix it and everything else, but they're like, of all the professional sports, they're coming down faster than the rest. But you wouldn't think that because contracts are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. They're losing money, but yet throwing out more.
Which is true. Which is very true. The Padres are a good good example. I can't see that. Can you read it?
Not even the greatest player is worth $340 million.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Like that is true. Like you're just not worth that much. That's the problem. Like Mahomes, not worth it. You need to stop.
Pause. Before you, like, I would rather somebody, like a football player that gets beaten to hell, get paid more. Like, Aaron Rodgers deserves a contract that's of this stature. Because you're getting beat up in the pocket. You're getting tackled. You're literally getting
Are they,
your
though?
head.
Are
your
they,
head's
though?
bouncing around.
Dude,
in
you
a
gotta
circle.
pick the quarterback up, sing him a lullaby, put him on the ground, cover him up, kiss him goodnight, give him a bedtime story, turn Alexa on, and put a goddamn TikTok light on for them before they get... there's a penalty. They're getting hit hard? Really?
Which football game are you watching?
All of them.
Even the fan-controlled league with Johnny Manziel?
Well, I'm gonna...
I refuse to talk about that.
I'm watching that for sure.
I saw some highlights of it, too. But
I saw highlights of it. It looks like
they're like training at like a soccer complex in some high school.
it's like arena football, but for rejects.
yeah, like these are people like not even they couldn't even go to the Canadian League. They couldn't get in the Arena League. So now they just got I think they pay them to let them play.
It's a pay to play type of thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like the semi-pro football is probably more entertaining than that.
Yeah, and they probably have better ability, too. Like, Johnny Manziel is, like, thinking...
This is beer league.
It's not even beer league. It's cocaine league because Johnny Manziel's involved.
in it. Do you like my tweet? I talked about how he said he didn't want to come to Cleveland. Or he's like, Cleveland sucks, whatever. So I tweeted at him, and I was like, that's only because this is where you got busted doing cocaine off of a giant penis. He didn't respond back.
Yeah, I think you insulted his intelligence because fan-created football or fan-controlled football is a thing of the future, Keith.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ryan, you guys don't
that
understand that we're witnessing history. You, at home, are able to call the plays.
And then, if you really want to get into it, you just turn your gaming console on or your PC, load up some Madden, and you can do it all. And control it.
If I want to, hold on, let me figure out.
And then if you want to trade Johnny Manziel or just cut him, you can.
You
You know what would be funny is if they actually made a video game.
The FCFL.
They need to hook these people up with nodes where they get shocked, and you can control them with a controller. So
like
you
in
can
Gamer?
Control which way they go. Yeah, like the movie Gamer. Yeah, Ready Player One.
Like, you're telling me.
I think we're dealing with a smaller budget. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they have a smaller budget because they have team names called the Glacier Boys.
The Glacier Boys.
The Zappers.
Oh, the
Beasts.
Zappers.
And don't forget my favorite team, the Wild Aces.
Oh my God. Going Vegas? Are they playing in Vegas?
This is ridiculous.
They're playing in their backyard. Don't get me wrong. Like, chances are I'll end up probably watching this because I am a
You know what would be way more entertaining? What they should do is, you know that dodgeball shit that you can do at the jump zones and stuff?
Yeah.
Just make it a football field. Have a bounce rally. That.
It's not a bad
that
idea.
I would watch that all day.
I would absolutely watch that.
You gotta rocket yourself into somebody. 20 feet in the air, just missile.
Throwing a piss missile across the room.
I think I got something. I'm gonna have to work on this.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
As we were mentioning, though,
We just gotta get away from CTE though, because it's gonna be real bad.
They're paying to play. We joked about, but in reality, their weekly minimum for a player is $400 to $750, plus room and board.
Were they staying?
At the
Where the hell
Hojo?
are they staying at? Red Roof Inn? Motel
Pack your
8?
bags, babe. We're going to the Hojo.
Well, that's Johnny Manziel's place. He knows all those people out at Motel 8 in Cleveland. Right?
Oh, Jesus
And the coaches are getting $3,500.
Why are all Motel 8s by a Bob Evans?
That's very
Did you
true.
ever notice that? It's so that way.
Apparently
when
it's
they're
down by
done
the farm.
When they're done going, the cocaine, they can go down on the farm.
You know what's
Get some good old
hilarious?
bacon and eggs.
Is Johnny Manziel. So the way this fan-controlled
hilarious.
football league
He's a douchebag.
is this fan-controlled football league every week. This is the worst thing ever. Because
Over under 6 games and it's done.
yeah, and then you draft a new team every week. This is fantasy football for even more nerdier people than fantasy football nerds.
This is horrible.
And Johnny Manziel has a franchise tag, so he's stuck with one team. So it's like he's playing with the Browns again back in 2014 when he has 13 different teammates, including Trent Richardson probably. He's probably going into the league next.
It hurts my brain. This is ridiculous.
Okay, and then he said, hold on. Johnny Manziel's exact
I'd rather watch curling.
like the Olympic sport or a chick curling her hair. Because I'd watch both.
Well, yes, but the Olympic sport, curling.
What if they made this an Olympic
Just a couple dudes sweeping the fucking ice. Got a big thing, goes down there like that. I'll watch that.
Balls clanking together, or metal ships, or whatever the hell you want to call them.
Speaking of balls clinking together, Manscaped.
Not time for break yet.
Oh, not bad.
We were talking
Balls.
about Manny Manziel. I messed that up. Johnny Manziel. He said that he doesn't want to play in the NFL. He told USA Today, this isn't me trying to be a comeback redemption type of tour for me to go back and play football anymore moving forward. After I play here, I probably won't pick up a football again for another year, 2, or maybe even longer than that. This is just an opportunity that got presented to me to get around a bunch of good guys who I feel like will make great business connections, and I'll have a lot of fun while I'm doing it. Since when did Johnny Manziel become an entrepreneur?
He's not.
I understand that, obviously, if you're doing that kind of thing like he was doing, you have to have, an idea of, finances, I assume, and I'm sure he's very tight on his finances. He doesn't want to blow any of it away.
Sure.
But...
You mean his dad's accountant and lawyers and CPAs that take care of his money?
this guy was a Heisman Trophy winner, and he's the highlight of fan-controlled football. Ryan, what do you want to run on 4th down? Run, pass, option? Do you want Johnny Manziel to scramble up the middle to the left side, the right side, or do you want him to go backwards? Because apparently that's a fucking option.
Wow.
I was about to say,
We're
is it an
getting
option
heated.
for me to be like, I want to see him get douched in the pocket?
We are
I want him to
getting heated.
stand
a lot
there.
Of F-bombs being thrown around.
That one was
douchebags
necessary, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great. The Christian Bible sponsor that we just got, yeah. Piss that away.
We have a Christian Bible?
No, we do. We. You're an
Yeah,
atheist. You're going to be printed on a Bible one day, and it's going to make me laugh.
So they're in trouble if they're looking at me.
Oh, dude.
He's going to run away.
Quickly.
Quickly.
Oh, man. Off the rails.
Off the rails.
But fan-controlled football. Like,
fame-controlled football or fan-controlled football?
Do whatever you want to call it. Nobody's watching it. Again. Like, oh, man.
I had no idea. I didn't even know that it started.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like the late night after like 12 o'clock where that little old lady comes out and sells you dildos. That's what time frame this is going to be on.
My voice should not have came out like that, but that was a pure reaction. Like,
this is what happens when you have a sports podcast and it's the second week into the NFL's offseason. The NBA is not as horrible. Pitchers and catchers have reported. That's about what we're looking at.
Give me Dwayne Johnson and his version of the XFL at this point. Like, I'd rather watch that than people saying the F word on the sideline in the middle of the
wasn't bad football. It's just couldn't sustain it.
It was worthwhile to watch. But, Tyler, I sent you the link for this fan-controlled football. In between break, we'll pull it up, and we'll show our fans at home what exactly our hero, Johnny Manziel, did.
Where can you watch this?
Apparently Twitch, a streaming service. And you can also watch it on ESPN.
No, wait a minute. I'm still with this whole Jesse. Okay, but why pay $300 for $1 million and take a complete risk of potential spending that pay for nothing and then he gets hurt? Like they're taking a huge leap paying that large amount for potential mishaps. I'm still on the $340 million topic. I like that. We can swing a bat and hit a ball and run bases. Why can't we get paid $340 million?
Honestly, it reminds me of that one guy.
I like whoever this is a genius.
The one person that it reminds me of with that case scenario.
Follow me on Twitter, Jesse, because me and you would get along.
Is
at Keith Miger 1.
Hyphen Hillis.
Hyphen. I'm still more famous than this idiot will ever be.
But the one guy, his name is like Floofy or something, and he literally
Floofy?
I forgot the name.
My name's Fluffy in the new TV show I'm in.
Is it really?
I swear to God.
Man, I kind of want to give you a hug now.
Don't touch me.
6 feet.
I have a friend named Fluffy.
See, a comedian, does he stand up or does he sit down?
That was really, really insensitive.
I was waiting for an answer.
That was insensitive. You pissed him off.
Oh, no, I didn't actually hear it.
All right, it didn't matter anyways, I guess. But, like, going back to, like, the $340 million topic, like, okay, like, he literally describes baseball like, okay, you get 4 pitches, you get 4 throws, you get to walk to a pillow, or else you get to steal the pillow if you're on base, and you're getting paid $340 million to sing a song about popcorn in the 7th inning. Like, that's pretty much the synopsis of this video. We've showed it before. Like, fan-controlled football. I'm so irritated with that. Like, you could watch it on Twitch. I think you could watch it on ESPN. You could watch it, I don't even know. It sounds like something like Dr. Seuss would end up, like, watching it in a car.
They haven't even got it on a TV station yet?
Yeah, I said ESPN, I thought.
ESPN picked it up?
I think so.
They must be super hurting for
it. I don't know, man.
Hold on.
What is it, ESPN 7?
No, I think we got to go farther down the line.
Hold on. It's not even ESPN anymore. It's like PSNN.
They wouldn't even play that on the Ocho.
The Ocho?
I swear I saw that this game was played.
We should do a live companion broadcast while we watch it, and then we call the plays.
Sue us.
Like a live review.
The lawyers.
We
can call. No, you know what we need to do? We need to get in touch with them, and we need to tell them that we'll be their play-by-play callers through here.
No, I don't know, man. Once we pull up the video of their play-by-play guys, they sound like they're commentating esports. Anyways, we'll be right back on the Real League Sports Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We're talking about fan-controlled football. We're talking about baseball and people that don't deserve the money that they get. We're talking about anything sports-related.
Bums!
Oh, bums.
Make sure to Manscaped. Promo code SPORTZ. Riggs has the ball deodorant, ball shaver, ball toner. Yeah.
How do you know this?
You're a bum, Joe.
Did you smell it?
No, like he always says it. I don't try it. I don't know if he's tried it.
You don't
himself.
Manscape?
I do. I don't use the ball toner, the ball deodorant.
Not a good ringing endorsement.
But that's why Riggs does it. I want to let him know how it is, and I want to know how it is. If I get good reviews, I'll use it. And so far, he uses it all the time. I just gotta find
You guys have had Manscaped for like 6 months. How many more? He's been telling you every Wednesday it's been great. What more do you need?
Might help you with the ladies.
Can you do something with this?
My face?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back, and we'll see if I can do something with my face on the We Like Sports podcast. Don't go anywhere. Fan-controlled football.
If you're
Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTSWITHAZ at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped, and use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped.
Welcome back.
Fan-controlled football here on Live
Johnny
Fast with-
Football.
Johnny Football. I thought we were talking about Billy Manziel.
Who's Billy? Oh, that's when he has his
blonde hair and his glasses, and
I thought he
But
looked
he looks
good
like
in
an
that.
extra bum.
he looks like what?
Extra bum.
Extra, yeah.
Extra bum.
He looked like a homeless person just got done sucking somebody off for crack.
Is that fan controlled though?
Well, yes. Who do you think told him to do it? It gave him $20. Someone wanted to watch him get on his knees and not to spike the ball or the football. Probably spiked his balls. But then he did that. I hate Johnny Manziel. Hate him.
Is that just something like, as a Browns fan, for you and Ryan both, you guys are Browns fans, is that just something that kind of comes with the territory now as a Browns fan? Is that Johnny Manziel's garbage and you just hate him?
No, because
I could
even when
live in
the
hate him, I
draft
still hate
came,
that piece of shit.
the draft came, and when they said
think I'd fit
anything
in
with an
80s,
inkling of drafting him,
That's
I
gross.
was losing my mind. Do not draft him. Do not waste a pick on him. And what they do, make the splash, make everybody go crazy.
Well, guess
He
what,
comes on the
Ryan?
stage
Now
and does
with
this.
fan-controlled football, you get to make that play.
Yeah, you know what I do,
decide
Dad?
who they draft. No more losing your mind.
And honestly, they drafted new teams today.
No,
before
just
we-
wasting my time.
Like, Johnny Manziel is the island of misfit toys. And
He's not misfit.
no, but his teammates probably are. They only have 3 notable names in the article, and they're like, yeah, this guy played in the XFL, this guy played good in college, and then there's Johnny Manziel. Everybody else played high school football. Like,
I think we should get Peyton Hillis to coach it.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
Honestly,
jeez.
I don't even know if I want to put him through that. That sounds torturous. Like, we should give the fans an option. Should Peyton Hillis coach fan-controlled football? Leave in the comments below. At We Like Sports PC on Twitter. At We Like Sports Podcast on Facebook. Make a couple comments. Maybe with fan-controlled football, we could end up putting in a word. I don't know.
I like Peyton Hillis. He's my friend, and I would never suggest that to him. I would not put him through that.
Imagine that. Like,
What?
fan-controlled football. Like, it's so bad. Like,
You want to know
What a
what
time
the
to be
real
alive.
travesty is?
is that this is the second league that Johnny Manziel's going to be a cancer to?
That was insensitive to people.
The AAF?
What the hell is that?
The F? The American All-American Football League or some shit?
That's a thing?
Yeah, it got
It
canceled.
was. It only lasted about 6-7 games.
And Johnny Manziel was at the head of that.
Oh, dude, that's it. Right
No,
there.
it wasn't the
That-
head of it. He came in later, played 2 games, and got his ass beat.
And then they suspended the league.
Yep.
Like, he was just so bad that they're like, all right, we can't do
But
this
what
anymore.
Peyton said is not far from the truth.
But anyways, as we have the clips up finally now, if you are confused about what fan-controlled football is,
You
it's
are
this
going to be
exciting.
continuing
If they're
to be
confused,
confused.
everybody's confused.
Yeah. Is this a continuation?
Johnny Manziel and the Zappers here in the FCF. Manziel to throw. Stepping up, now he'll take it himself to the 15, the 20, Manziel to the 25, still moving, 15, backpedaling, 10-5, and taking down just shy of the end zone.
They're so excited.
Johnny Football back in business and bringing the Zappers onto the doorstep here. Possession.
So Johnny Manziel on that play ran about like 30 yards. In a real football field, that's about not even half the field. But on this small condensed field, they almost had a touchdown. Fan-controlled
Almost.
football. Here's the final play of the game. It's super intense, apparently, too.
A chance for some heroics here from Marchie and the Zappers. Time winding down. Steps up. He is eluding the defender. Still moving on his feet. Somehow breaks free. Marchie, time is
Triangle,
expired.
push, triangle.
One last chance.
He did it. Hold on.
Complete the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5.
Oh, NFL blitzed his ass.
That's how this ends.
They should have suplexed him.
Should have gave him the stanky leg.
The Beast defense holds.
Gosh, wow.
And that was the end of the game.
Dude, that was I don't even know. I think we should. All right, so
You know what I'd be all for, though? This kind of goes back to earlier. You wanted to talk about baseball? I'd be for fan-controlled baseball.
Why calling your pitch?
But how?
does that even work?
That'd
Pitching?
be cool.
Call your pitches. Call the people in and out.
Yeah, bullpen. Like, all right. There's no stupid-ass rule.
You
that
can
have
kind
to
of do that
figure
with
out.
gambling. Call the pitch. You get paid for it.
There's
Like-
got it. Yeah, dude. I don't think they fully understood. Like, I'm gonna make some plays to tank them, and I'm hitting up FanDuel immediately. Like, dude, I
Damn.
will. Hell yeah, I do. You think Scott? What is his name?
Feldman?
Veterans Know Sports. You think that dude knows what he's talking about when he's making a lineup? My lineup, dude, it'll be the same every time, and I'll call the same plays. I'll spend the money.
Like, all right. So on
It's like
Twitch,
the dude with the streaker.
Yeah, that guy's a genius. You think he ended up having fan-controlled football in the NFL? Like, everybody was like, hey, man, we vote for you to streak on the field, can you do it? And he was like, hell yeah. But I feel like I'm getting onto something. Maybe it might just be the idea of fan-controlled baseball.
How about fan-controlled softball?
I'm for
fan-controlled hockey.
Why not?
Hell,
add drinking to it, there's nothing that could go wrong.
No, fan-controlled Olympics.
Who wins the gold, though? You decide.
Fans, we decide it. What do you mean who wins the gold? We do.
Oh, man.
It's like American Idol for morons.
Oh, we could make this like Rock and Jock.
That's
You
right. It's
remember
the
that
Masked
shit?
Singer, except we're the idiots with a mask on.
Do you remember that on MTV, Rock and Jock Sports?
No.
I was probably.
Oh, you never watched that stuff? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember, no.
All right, so MTV for quite some time had Rock and Jock, and it was a softball game. It was like a celebrity softball game. But it was just they added rules and shit to it. It was actually entertaining to watch because they just did a bunch of crazy shit. You take that, add booze to it, and fan control, we might have something.
That's right. Anytime you can add booze to it, we'll be where we need to be at.
Like, imagine like the celebrity softball game for baseball.
Oh yeah,
but with booze.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what Rock and Jock was.
Then you know what I think we should. I think we should take baseball then, and I think we should take out the bats and the balls, add a helmet and an oval ball, and they should have to run 100 yards. They can pass it in the air, or they can hand it off to the catcher.
Embarrassing story time because you just brought it up too. So, I was a stupid kid.
I believe it.
I had this great idea the one time.
No, you didn't.
Baseball, right? Baseball.
I had a great idea. I'm telling you that I'm a stupid kid, but I had a great idea.
I did. And this was almost something that I thought I was onto something.
I know what it is. I bet you I know what it is.
No, you don't.
I do. It's
you
where
don't.
you take it, you paint the basketball like a baseball, and then you shoot it, and then you have the voice of Cartman and a whole bunch of other South Park characters inside playing it.
Playing what?
Basketball.
Basketball. That sounds like a movie plot.
I think so.
But anyways, what I ended up doing was I had this basketball, and I had a stick, big 6-foot stick, and I'm like, I have this genius idea. I have a thing that's kind of like a baseball bat in my hands. I'm going to swing this stick at the basketball.
This is a horrible story.
I swung it, hit the ball, stick cracked me right in the mouth.
Yep.
Gravity, I never knew it.
That was just your dad punishing you because of how stupid you are.
My dad, I did it myself.
Oh, that's right, you didn't have a dad.
No, I did.
That's why you burnt the burgers.
No.
Fan-controlled everything.
Life.
Sure, fan-controlled. So The Sims. Let's just turn this into The Sims.
What if that's all what we're into? Like, what if this is all simulation?
No.
Simulation theory.
No, it's not.
Like, COVID isn't even real. Like, what if it's all
COVID's
simulation?
not real. It is real.
Yeah, see?
It is real, but I don't believe it's as bad as I say it is. You really want to go down these roads? Because, I mean, I got a lot. I'm not feeling good today, so we can
Country roads,
we
let's
can
take
just
me home.
keep on going.
Just stop there.
We can just keep on going because...
But baseball
Want to talk about Wahoo? Want to talk about the Chief? You got to change the name. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, if you want.
What are they going to change it to, Jack?
It's
Did you see?
Fan-controlled podcast. You pick the topic for the next 10 minutes.
We don't have any fans, moron.
5 people are watching on Facebook.
We're in the 23 on Twitter.
See?
We're the only, like, COVID is not real. Who is this person?
I think she's mocking you.
Oh. I thought she
He was really excited.
I thought she was being serious.
He was like the commentators with,
Fan-controlled commentators.
Well, whoever just still hasn't followed me on Twitter yet.
She said she will after the show. Pay attention.
I'm not reading the comments. I'm talking fan-controlled comments. You need to be reading the comments so we can go.
All right. So
she said, "Hey, moron, I'm a fan."
Man. So, changing gears. Fan-controlled football.
Man, we've really been in second gear a long time.
Just don't think it's as bad.
With the NFL, you have fan-controlled foot. No. But with the NFL, though, you have the news of J.J. Watt parting ways with the Texans. All these rumors now that he might end up coming to the Steelers and play with his brother, but his brother needs an extension. He might go to the Packers. They're another front runner now. And now the Browns have been in the conversation. And somebody went to the extent of this TV show called New Girl that J.J. Watt was on, and he looked at the Browns helmet in a box, and they said that it's just destiny waiting to happen. Do you think that the Browns would, I don't even want to say would benefit from J.J. Watt, because he will, but would it be a smart idea financially for them to do that and pay for everybody else on their team?
Yes.
It's always the right price. It's what it's going to come down to. I think if we can sign him, he walked out on 17 mil. We cannot pay him 17 mil.
Why?
We were paying Olivier.
We have the cap space for that.
We do, but we don't want to. But we need to focus on cap right now because we got a lot of re-signs coming up.
Well, who else are you going to spend that money on?
No. You need to roll that cap over. Whenever you save money on the salary cap, it rolls over to the next year.
Yeah, but then you're going to
right now the salary cap's going to be $20 million below what it should have been because of last year with COVID and everything like that. No fans in the stands, so the cap's going to be going down. So we have to sign him because he's going to want multi-year. Sure. So we're going to have to get at least 2 or 3 years on him. So we need to pay him. We can't pay him $17 million. Baker's contract's coming up. Chubb's contract's coming up. Ward contract coming up. We got a lot of money we got to spend.
So Jesse ended up commenting saying maybe everybody should go to the Padres. They pay $340 million.
I like Jesse. We'll all just go to the Padres. They pay for crap.
Taking my talents to whatever. It's not South Beach. It's ever out west. Is there another city that's out there nicknamed like that?
Wait, what?
What? I don't know what the hell you're saying.
You know, like, oh, I'm taking my talents to Cali. There we go. That's a good one. That's kind of where I was going with that. Nope. All right. Moving on. With J.J. Watt, though, I feel like
if we can get him for like $10 million a year, $8 million, $9 million, $10 million with incentives for about 2 or 3 years, I think they can rock with that. But yeah, we got a lot of decisions to make coming.
I think we could pay. I think we could still pay him that, though, don't you? I really don't think that that's a hard pay.
Like,
do you?
It's just I feel like
17 mil a year on a salary cap that's going down. Yeah, that hurts.
Like you still have to.
What do you mean salary cap that's going down?
Because every year, whenever the salary cap, it fluctuates. So usually it goes up. It goes up about 10, 15, 20 million every year. But because of COVID, it's going down.
So you want to make is going down?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because
the teams didn't make the revenue this year. Right. Yeah, the teams didn't make the revenue this year because no fans in the stands. So the salary cap's going to take a hit for that.
I feel like if you end up getting J.J. Watt and Myles Garrett, like, yeah, your defensive line would be fantastic, but you still have to pay for guys like Nick Chubb if you want him, or else Kareem Hunt's your future. You have to pick one or the other. That's
not even your future because he's already been signed for one, so he's got 2 years left.
Right, and he already got.
So again, that's not a future.
Nick Chubb, you might have to part ways with because he's expensive. He's going to be valuable.
We'll have the money to pay him, but we can't go frivolous spending on the outside of that. We have to take things in, build to the draft, make sure we have enough money on the side, which we do right now. We're rolling over enough cap, so it won't be a problem. And it'd be smart to make those re-signs now. Because where the cap's at, if we wait a year when the cap goes up, you're going to get into the Mahomes money and, because the precedent's been set up here. So if it's 40 million, 35 million, 37 million, 34 million, and you can get him for about 35, between 35 and 30, that like next tier now, you do that now because if you wait till the next year to try to extend him, that number is going to go up.
And that's the same thing the Indians should do with like Shane Bieber right now. It's something I've said over and over again. Is sign him young.
But with baseball, it doesn't matter. They can throw as much as they want at Bieber because there's no cap.
But they're not going to because it's the Dolans and it's Cleveland.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like they'd rather take out seats to take away the revenue.
Right.
Like, and that's what you have to do with Jose Ramirez. His contract's up in 2024.
Right.
If you want to do something, you could probably sign him right now, 8 years, and probably have to pay $150 million, I'd assume. That's probably a decent contract for him, because I mean that's almost $20 million a year almost.
Yeah.
Roughly. Shane Bieber, you have to do the same thing. That's how you end up doing what the Indians did before. You sign them young, you extend them, and then you end up having this.
But that's always the
value.
thing too, though. Like, that's why signing quarterbacks long term, signing these players long term, saves you money on the cap because you can backload it, front load it, divide it up, put incentives in there, so you can fix it all to where you say. The problem is that a lot of these teams like to backload everything in the NFL. So at first it's a team-friendly contract, but then gets towards the end. So if it's like a 6-year deal, gets towards the 5th and 6th year, it hikes up to about, if it was 10 or 12 million, it's at 18, 19 million in the last couple of years. Because that's when all their incentives are going to hit.
Like, it's just frustrating when you end up looking at the NFL when the Browns, and I think it's just me because I'm a Steelers fan, but it's like, I like baseball a lot more than I like football no matter what city.
Right.
But the Indians struggle to pay anything. And like, it was a shock when they paid Edwin Encarnacion 3 years, $60 million.
Sure was.
That
was a big shock.
Yeah.
He wasn't worth it though either.
No. He literally, he had a year left over, and they pretty much were okay with him opting out because he was okay. The thing with Edwin Encarnacion, as you mentioned, when you ended up saying like, okay, would we want to bring him back? Now that I think about it, no, I don't want to bring him back. You know why? Because when he was playing with the Indians, what was a moment that stood out when he was at the plate? Nothing. He had 38 home runs, 32 home runs. He didn't do much outside of that. He hit
really
home runs.
clutch. He
hit home runs. That's it. And he
in the
struck out
playoffs,
big
he was
moments.
non-existent.
He was a decent. He's a good first baseman though. He does picks. He was I don't know if he's Golden Glove caliber.
He just didn't do shit in the playoffs. That was the only problem. He just disappeared completely.
Well, the other thing is nobody did anything in the playoffs. Lindor,
Francisco Lindor will never do anything.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. When no one's doing anything, the guy that's getting paid $60 million, that's the guy you want to be doing something.
Right, but but that's a good right there is a good example of why we don't pay players. Lindor does nothing in the playoffs. Nothing. Right? Look at the heroes of the playoffs. Ramirez, Rajah Davis, Brandon Guyer. You got the old look at these people who have actually done something, and we're pissed off that Lindor walked and we wanted to pay him and we didn't pay him, and the Dolans are garbage and the Dolans are this. But we get players who suck ass when it comes down to being clutch in the playoffs or just showing up.
I think the thing is that people didn't want Francisco Lindor to go because we saw it coming from years ago, and it's like kind of like that slow burn. Like, you knew it was going to end up going down and just falling apart eventually, but you didn't think it would ever happen. Like, you thought, like, okay, yeah, maybe something tragic could happen, but it's not going to happen at the moment. We're going to put that off and close the door and watch this fire burn behind the door.
But it's also the problem with Egg. We know at least how good he is, and he gets. I guess we can't really say anything because we haven't seen what the guys are going to do that we got for him. Could be a blessing in disguise. They could be awesome. Yeah. Could be. But we don't know that. We know what Lindor is.
You're hoping.
Yeah, we know what Lindor is. But then we give him, and it just seems like the disparity of what we sent away.
I like Jessica.
Comes
I just want
in
to
and
take
we're
a second
done.
to personally say that I like Jessica a lot. And will you please read what she said?
No, that's all you. That's up your alley.
Just because I can't see it, moron. I have to squint and everything else. I have my glasses on.
Oh, all right, I'll read it for
raining
you.
outside.
Raining.
Snowing.
We buried.
Salary cap is literally dropping for a pandemic that's not really a pandemic. This is from Jesse. It's something someone pulled out their ass to create a statistic out of. Since government mentioned it had to... I can't even read. And then she said salary cap shouldn't be dropping as much as it is. The pandemic pretty much screwed over everybody financially. Then you go from the aspect of baseball. Like, we're getting excited for baseball, and I guess that kind of goes off the topic too. You're getting excited again for spring training, and the fact that there might be approval for 2,200 fans at spring training, people are excited for. Because maybe at Progressive Field we might be able to have a sold-out crowd of 10,000.
I'm going to a baseball game.
I want to go too.
No, I'm going. I don't care. This is like it's getting
Indians
worse.
never sell it anyway. They should just be okay with it and let everybody in because we ain't filling seats.
Well, yeah, that is true. We're never at 10,000 anyways. But
let's keep it 100 and keep it real. When's the last time you saw all them seats filled other than the playoffs?
Maybe on weekends, on occasion, yeah. But that's
maybe
about
an occasional weekend when a big team comes to town. People want to see who's pitching shit. Yeah.
But the point is, like, how are you gonna? why are you not allowing fans in the stadium still? Like what
they let the Browns in. They let people in the Browns games.
Oh
They're
yeah,
gonna let
no,
people in the Indians games.
we're absolutely 100% having fans in the stadium. But at what point in time do you allow life to come back to normal even inside the sporting world? At what point do you say, okay, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Whatever, who cares? My body, my choice, right? So if I don't want to wear a mask, I ain't got to wear a mask. I mean, if I don't have an abortion, that's okay too. My body, my choice. When are we allowed to come back in there? Like, when is it the right time? Like, when can we look at it?
When's everything okay kind of thing?
Yeah, when are we like, they keep saying the new normal. There is no new normal. There's just still stupid. Like, there's still stupid. No new normal, just a lot of dumb. And we're screwing the sport. Like, think about that. We talked about that the whole time when we were doing the coronavirus sports podcast, when we had to sit there and listen to a whole bunch of garbage.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting here saying, okay, our case is rising. Doesn't matter. What does it have to do with... I don't get it. We don't do this for pneumonia. We don't do this for when you get the flu. None of this happens. When are we going back to normal, and how and can we fill the stands, and when can we fill the stands?
In general, probably like another year or so. It's probably going to be another year of this in a probably limited capacity, and you're not going to see Progressive Field sold out for another 2 years, even if that's a possibility.
Why?
Just because people are afraid.
Afraid of what, though, at this point?
I don't have an answer. But anyways.
I mean, because this does affect everything. Like, it affects the same thing with the name change. Like, we're changing the name. It's like, why? Why are we doing these things? The rule changes in baseball are absolutely asinine, and they're keeping some of those rule changes that happened from this dumb thing. So why are we changing the name of the Cleveland Indians? Why are we doing rule changing? Why? Why is this happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point. I don't have answers to it. I mean, obviously, everybody would love to know what's going on.
Right.
But I guess leaving off on more of a positive topic, with... No, because, like, there's only 2 minutes left, and, like, we could end up going down this rabbit hole again like we've done for a year straight. But who do you think out of the Indians, pretty much, who's your surprise pitcher, who's your surprise hitter this year? Who do you think is going to end up shocking people and making a name for themselves?
Let me answer something real quick. Go back to J.J. Watt. Yes, the Browns should get J.J. Watt. He's only going to help Myles Garrett. He will help the defense, brings leadership to the locker room. I am fully down for the right price getting him in there. That was the answer to that question. Come back. So now, baseball. Go.
Got it.
We were talking about baseball, Ryan.
No, we weren't. We were talking about J.J. Watt.
Hey, can you do me a favor and shut that shit off?
Shut that off. I'm locking the door.
I'm sorry, we can't hear Ryan anymore, guys. All right, so favorite pitcher.
Favorite pitcher? No, who's the surprise?
McKenzie. I think even when Ryan was talking, so we've talked about this off air. McKenzie, everybody said I was stupid for being pissed off that Cookie is gone because McKenzie's coming up in the rotation, and he did good. We watched that. I mean, we all watched McKenzie pitch decent.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, pitching-wise, I think the standout for me is going to be Emmanuel Clase, just because he's a flamethrower. He's literally going to be the Indians' version of an Andrew Miller or a Aroldis Chapman, and he's young too. And the fact that he was stupid and just a dumb kid that got busted for PEDs, that's on him. But you literally have him throwing upper 90s to 100. And then after that, that's your setup man. Then you're followed by James Karinchak, who's also fastball eye level, curveball dropping 12-6.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm looking forward to Emmanuel Clase. But Ryan, what are your thoughts? Who's going to be the standout pitcher for the Indians, including bullpen, starting pitching?
Sure.
Brian Shaw.
Well, again, but McKenzie, I think, is one of the ones that's up there. Like, again, just from last year, I'd like to see where he gets in a full year. Like, if you want to make sure what he can continue what he was doing. Like, you don't want to see teams get locked in on him. You know, he stays the same and they go right back into it and then he gets rocked. You know, I want to see. But, again, the faith in our pitching coaches and our coaching staff won't let that happen. Like, the big thing I want to see besides that is the young guys in AAA, like the guys that we've been hearing about for years. They say, oh, well, he's not ready. He's not this. No, I want to see it's time. I'm tired of hearing how good someone is and then they get traded and I never get to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see those guys come up. If they're that good and we got it going, then bring them up. Let them play. If we're not going to pay people, let's see what our other fruits of labor are.
And I guess on that note, going on the other side, then who's going to be the hitter that you're looking forward to most? That's a prospect. Like, Naylor. I think that's the best way. Naylor? Which one? Is it going to be Josh Naylor or Bo Naylor? Because the one's a catcher. They're brothers.
Probably no. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Josh.
Probably Josh, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, he was a top 10 prospect.
Does anybody remember the fact that he also got like in trouble or released from the Marlins for stabbing his teammate because they were playing that dumbass knife game?
The knife game. Yeah, that's right. Was he a top 10?
I think he was.
I don't think he was top. Was he? Was he?
I could find out really quick.
I wasn't sure because he got in trouble too when he was in the minors.
What happens when you're a child and you get paid money to play a game and you're like trying to stay entertained and you stab each other.
That's right.
Yeah, he was 12th overall selected in the Miami Marlins organization. And then he got traded to the Padres, and then the Padres traded him to the Indians. But, I mean, I think it's not even Josh Naylor for me. I think, and I've always been big on this person, is Nolan Jones. I hope that he gets his opportunity.
I hope Nolan Jones gets his opportunity.
Because even, like, you already have the camaraderie with him and Tristan McKenzie. Like, they're already buddy-buddy. And it's like,
who's that big hoss that we got in AAA? He's a big dude. First baseman. I think he plays a little outfield.
Bobby Bradley are you thinking of? Or
Yeah, Bradley. Yeah. I want to see him.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see him for years, just because.
I can see, Bradley's,
I've been like sitting here like they're going to trade him because they keep talking about him. They're going to trade him.
Right. He's going to be another Jesus Aguilar, probably.
Unless they get his ass up here and we can't. Like, we got to. Yeah, that's the biggest one is him. I want to see him.
And you have first base open if you end up having Josh Naylor in the outfield too. So it's like, it's very interesting to see which way. Hopefully, we'll have answers soon with the ideas that the Indians are thinking. But obviously, next week, 7:30 to 9:30, we'll be back here. Keith, Payton, Riggs, Stephen R. Smith might be making an appearance. I don't know if he's going to be out at spring training with the pitchers and the catchers in the Arizona. I guess the way he's calling it, I don't even know.
I still think it's Riggs, but
we'll be back.
It's just
next
weird
week.
that Riggs isn't here and neither is Stephen R. Smith. Like,
but I mean,
you guys
spring
keep telling
training
me
just started today, though.
That's
we put him on assignment, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna do one better. Like, I'm not gonna go to ESPN anymore. I'm gonna end up doing this for the We Like Sports crew." That's what he's doing. He's doing us a solid. Obviously, he has insider scoops. I think he'll end up revealing those next week if he comes around. But again, 7:30 to 9:30 next week. We Like Sports
Check out
podcast.
Stephen R. Smith's TikTok.
Yeah, Stephen R. Smith's Twitter, which is Stephen R. Smith 15.
Oh, you guys said it at the same time. It was so cute. Adorbs AF.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Is he still on the screen? It's weird. All right, follow MC.
Keep talking that shit, dog.
Keep
talking that shit, dog.
Follow Peyton. What is your Twitter handle?
First and last name, Peyton Vince.
That's what it is. Vince. Yep. Peyton Vince.
That's my last name.
I knew it.
I'm proud of myself that I taught you something today.
You did.
But, guys, don't forget, Saturday, fan-controlled football on Twitch.
We're going to watch it. We'll record it. What are they going to do? They can't sue us. We can play the whole thing in its entirety, and they're not going to hit us with anything.
Well, I mean, their players are getting
hit a
whopping $400 to $700 plus room and board.
That's what I'm saying. You can catch the latest episode of, and I'm saying latest episode of Fan Favorite Football. We will play its entirety right from the network that it's on. Right
on
here,
the We Like Sports
podcast. We'll play everything. I mean, everything, dude. The horrible horseshit commentary, the everything.
Well, on that note, I guess
I think the commentary is what I'm looking forward to more than anything because that seems like the only entertaining part of this.
Absolutely. That's 100% right.
Other than somebody running the wrong way or some shit like that happening.
Running the wrong way, it's going to be Menzel.
There's got to be a fight or something in the stand. Something got to go on.
Well, there can't be fans in the stands. They can't be. That's too close. That's why they came up with the idea.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They play in a garage, so that's probably why.
Oh, man. Dude, it's a storage unit.
Okay, sorry.
Storage unit.
But anyways, next week, 7:30 to 9:30, we'll be talking more about fan-controlled football. I really want to get Riggs' thoughts on this, if he's even paying attention to like fan-controlled football. If not, that's his homework assignment.
It seems like it's turning into a very special episode of Fan Favorite Football.
Absolutely.
Fanfare Football. That's a better name. But it's not it. Anyways, we'll catch you next week, 7:30 to 9:30. Ryan, thanks for joining. Make sure to follow McNowalk. That's it.
Did you say Mick Nowak?
Yeah, I always say that.
Okay.
MC No Walk.
It's MC Nowak.
My bad.
It's okay. We forgive you.
It's all good. You got it.
For sure.
Kinda. A little bit. Maybe.
Good night.